So I wanted to do a video on 1-800-Flowers.com, and it seems as though a lot of people actually may not really understand how this works. A lot of people, understandably, because everybody talks about platforms these days, a lot of people may think that, a site like this, 1-800-Flowers.com, is a platform. It's actually not. This is actually an advertising directory, or if you want to link... or if you want to think of it as, a glorified advertising directory, either or. By the way, this is how Seamless as well as Grubhub works, so I'm just going to use 1-800-Flowers.com as an example. So 1-800-Flowers.com is actually not a florist. So my understanding, and I know they have a lot of different brands, by the way, chocolate, fruit, snacks, but let's just stick to the flowers. So my understanding is the founder of the company has a background in the floral business, so and I believe that they're headquartered somewhere in Long Island. But anyway, they're actually not a florist. So what they essentially do is they run a website. They have designers as well as merchants. I'm just talking about some of the, the key departments. And what they do is, for example, so you as a customer or potential customer, so this is the homepage. So let's just go into, birthday. When you go into birthday, so there's, all these options, tons of options, right? So let's just kind of go to this first one. So Fields of Europe Summer, which is really, popular. So what they do, 1-800-Flowers.com, they actually have created this arrangement. So they say, let's, put together this particular arrangement of, and by the way, sorry, I'm horrible with, aside from roses, I don't really know the names of flowers. But anyway, obviously it tells you. So the merchants at 1-800-Flowers, they'll say, all right, let's do a SKU and call it Fields of Europe Summer. Let's have a variety of different flowers in it. The arrangement comes in different sizes. So you as the customer like this and you pick this, you do your options. They now have this thing called Passport, which is their version of Prime, whatever. But what 1-800-Flowers.com is doing is they're reaching out to their network of florists. So their network of florists are the local florists that, have been in your neighborhood, in your town, that you've seen your whole life. So if you are a florist and you want to become a, whatever 1-800-Flowers.com calls it, a member, an affiliate, a partner, I'm sure they have one of those terms. So you would basically be part of their network, and when the customer decides to, buy Fields of Europe, you as the florist have already agreed with 1-800-Flowers.com that you can fulfill this particular arrangement. That's kind of the point. Now, it doesn't mean that every florist needs to necessarily do every arrangement. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. 1-800-Flowers.com gets your order as a customer, and once they get your order, what they'll do is that they'll bid it out. So let's say you pick the large size. That's $64.99, and let's say once that order comes in, 1-800-Flowers.com will submit that order to their florists that are participating, and they'll basically say, hey, we got this order in for same-day delivery, and they'll send it to the florist that obviously can fulfill same-day delivery by a certain time that the customer orders, obviously. I'm making up the numbers, but let's say if they offer 5 florists that are in the geographic area, let's say they offer them $20, and nobody bites. So the florists are like, they scoff at that. They say, I'm not going to basically do all that just for $20. So if 1-800-Flowers.com doesn't get a bid, then they may ratchet up the price and say, okay, $23, $25, $26. Again, I'm making up the numbers. And then eventually someone, meaning one of the florists, will basically click accept, and then they'll basically have you as the customer. They'll have all of your information, your address, or the address of where you want it delivered. Obviously it doesn't matter. You can be in New Jersey and ship to California. You can be in California and ship to New York, whatever. So that's essentially how this works. Now, if you know a florist, a local florist, meaning they're the folks in your town that maybe you've been going to for years and years, and they may actually start talking about how much they don't really love them, and that's kind of saying it nicely. And the reason is the florists feel as though they're getting, excuse my language, screwed, because the florist feels that they've accepted it. You don't have to accept it. They've accepted it, and so they're going to do it, but they feel as though the florist is getting too little for it, and 1-800-Flowers, which is essentially running a website, is getting too much. So this is why we call this directory advertising. This is precisely what directory advertising is all about. Yes, it's true. They're making the florist so much less for this particular floral arrangement than they would if you basically, came in off the street and basically bought it directly from them. Now, two things though. One quick thing in terms of, in favor of 1-800-Flowers.com. The florist, although your local florist may have a lot of wonderful bouquets for any occasion, 1-800-Flowers is saying, like, look, we've got a team of designers and merchants, and we actually came out with this beautiful arrangement called Fields of Europe Summer, and this is what's drawing customers to buy from our site, and therefore you get the order. And you know what? There's something to be said about that, because let's say you are in one state and you are sending flowers to somebody in another state. How on earth would you, as the customer, be able to connect with that particular florist? You wouldn't if it wasn't for 1-800-Flowers.com. So there's something to be said about that. And at the same time, of course, yes, the florists themselves, they're not making nearly as much money as they would, because they have to, sort of split the difference, and I'm just using that term casually, with, 1-800-Flowers.com. But let's say if the florist was, advertising, that would also be, of course, a cost to them. So does it even out? I'm not sure. That's not really for me to say. I don't need to say that. I'm not in the floral business. They could say, look, you got an order because you are a member partner on our website. If it wasn't for that, you wouldn't even have this order. So hopefully this was helpful to you, and now you know a little bit more on how these websites like 1-800-Flowers.com, Seamless, Grubhub actually really work, and what they are and what they're not. So send me your comments and questions, and each week you'll get a chance to win a copy of one of my books. Your choice, either my book on presentation skills or business writing skills.